topics work. I don't think we've ever stuck to a topic for more than 5 minutes.
No, I will be disappointed if we do an episode where we actually stay on topic. That'll be our last episode. Like, well, we're fucking done. We have failed. We've succeeded and/or failed at that point. So.
Is this considered cheating on a topic?
No, it's like Tom and Cecil should pay you something for advertising. They throw you a bone in their next episode, something.
Yeah. I really should have put on my Glory Hole t-shirt.
Yes. We should all get Glory Hole t-shirts and wear them one day for this.
Put it in the background.
Yeah, there you go.
And then send it to the guys.
All right, so we're on the air now. So welcome everyone to the Incredulous, Irreligious, Cognitive Skeptic Zone Guide Hangout / videocast / whatever the hell you call this. Glory Hole.
Yes. Yes.
And there's that.
Now you really can't upload this on YouTube anymore.
Oh no, it's on now. We are live. Like, it's already recording. It's gonna be there. So if you're offended, stop watching now because it's only gonna get worse. Today we're talking about our favorite podcasts. We are joined by Brandy Madison, Erno. How do you pronounce your last name, Erno?
Marttila.
What? Yes, that. Superstar podcaster Mike Bowler and myself, John Omby, the Talking Monkey Man. That's my title today. So,
this would be Lily.
So, favorite podcast officially of this hangout is Skeptic's Guide to Conspiracy, which Mike hosts.
Oh my.
Latest episode is part 3 of the JFK conspiracy, just released yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, excellent. I've listened to everything. I've listened to everything up to that. That's on my list of things to listen to today, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm assuming the conspiracy's solved, the mystery's all solved now.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Still got plenty more.
So you're going to do episode 4?
I'm looking almost like 6 or 7.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm going to go through the next one. I'm going to hit is the communists, Russia and Cuba.
Commies.
Then I'll have the mafia. I got Lyndon Johnson, and then whatever little stragglers that might be out there. So it should be interesting.
So we have a viewer right now. This is awesome.
Oh,
we've managed to have a viewer for every episode so far. So we'll try that.
So if we triple it, we'll be close to what?
We had 4 last week. We had 4 at the same time last week. I was shocked. That was amazing. So anyway, podcasts. I guess we don't have to be on
mute. You were running 2 browsers.
That's right. Oh no, he's on to me. I logged into work and I logged all the computers in at work to follow. I'm fucking with the analytics.
We have
our favorite podcast. We don't have to stick to skeptical and atheist podcasts, although I'm sure we'll have a number of those to mention. Anything just in particular that you find extremely enjoyable, let's talk about that for a couple minutes, and I will try at the end of this to do a complete list of links to everything we've talked about. With that in mind, I'm going to open up Evernote here so I can make sure I have everything written down that we talk about. So, who would like to talk first about one of their favorite podcasts, or just a list thereof?
Well,
nice.
Is it cheating if I'm saying this is not my favorite podcast?
Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is.
I would go for Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, since it obviously has the highest production quality. Like, sorry, Mike, but it's almost professional.
Almost.
I mean, it sounds good. It's always the same length, and no his and ums and everything.
Right.
Go to Dada. That's not mine.
I have to mention that cognitive dissonance is pretty much the reason that this all came together, because the community that we're all member of on Google Plus was formed by a number of fans of cognitive dissonance. We were all talking smack one day in comments about the show, and the idea was kicked around that, hey, we should start a community, and here we are all this time later. Also, that cognitive dissonance is the reason why that community was formed, which is also the reason why I met Brandy. So, shout out to Tom and Cecil, thank you for that. Brandy, you are still muted, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah, that's how we met.
I thought you were going to mime the show today.
Yeah, I was going to do a little performance art and see if you guys could just guess the meaning. Little charades. Yeah, that's how we met, and I don't have that much more to say about it other than it gave us a lot to talk about at first.
I bet Glory Hole was mentioned.
Daily.
I'm sure. It's unavoidable, I'm sure.
I mean, who doesn't talk about Glory Hole, right? That is how I greet people on the street. I get the strangest looks for being here in the Bible Belt. Like, Glory Hole.
You've been asked to leave church several times in family reunions, etc.
This is a family establishment, sir.
I will see myself out.
You live in the Bible Belt?
Oh, yeah. I live right in the heart of the Bible Belt.
That's not something that Christians wrestle for. That's like a place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably also something Christian people wrestle for, but it is also a place.
Which part of the Bible Belt?
I live in Oklahoma City.
I'd say the buckle.
I don't know. It's kind of. I want to say that's not the case, because I hear way more more crazy religious shit out of other states, but we are the most red state in the country. So yeah, we're north of Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Which has, as I would just learn the other day, apparently has the largest crucifix in the Midwest or something at some town like Broomstick, Texas or something. If you're from anywhere in Texas and I fucked that up,
Bumblefuck, Texas.
Live with it. So
Central Bumblefuck, West Bumblefuck.
Yeah, that's right. Which I said, that you could crucify a lot of Jesus on that big cross, or you could just go here to Oklahoma, to Tulsa, at Oral Roberts University, the huge prayer tower with the multi-100-foot tall Jesus, drag him down there to Texas. Huge crucifix, huge Jesus. Lots of salvation. I don't know. Somehow that works out. I'm not sure. Yeah. And crickets. Yeah, I said it.
You could buy some white sheets and put it on fire.
I think that's a whole different kind of party.
I think Oklahoma's not the worst of it by far. They're at least friendly there.
Yeah, we've got that. Everybody here seems to be super friendly.
The Thinking Atheist is from there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brandy, a few of your favorite podcasts.
Well, speaking of Oklahoma and friendly people, the Thinking Atheist. I like Seth. He's not the most, hard-hitting. His style is much more sort of radio show, and he just has a casual chat with people, and I like it. And he's not a firebrand. He is not by any means someone like Hitch, where you get that joy of watching him just eviscerate someone. He's not that guy. He is kind of the opposite. But, it's a big tent, the critical thinking community, atheism, whatever. It's a big tent. And there's room for someone like him, and I like it.
And he has the nicest voice. That really low radio voice.
Oh, Seth, yeah. Scathing Atheist is another one, and that is where I get all happy listening to somebody eviscerate someone else and say really terrible, articulate things. It's just awesome. It's just pure joy listening to him.
I really want to know how long it takes No Illusions to come up with his diatribe.
Oh, it's genius.
I wonder how much that is just like comes off the top of his head. Or
Yeah, I
sit around and think about that a lot.
He edits it, but I think he just probably rants off of whatever is making him mad at that moment, because it's every week and it seems pretty fluid.
Right.
Yeah, so those are some of my favorites right there. Other than Cognitive Dissonance, that is my absolute favorite. I love Tom and Cecil. Oh my God, I could listen to them bullshit back and forth and laugh all day long. I think they're so funny. And when Cecil calls somebody a nasty little subhuman or something like that, I think note to self, like that's a good one. I'm gonna remember that nasty little subhuman. There you go.
Wait, what?
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 What? That's my thing in my work.
Everybody's familiar with that. What?
What? Oh, I love it when Tom goes crazy. Great. And the Skeptics Creed is awesome. Doubt even this. Genius.
Sure.
Yeah.
It says so on my shirt.
Yeah. Doubt even this. I think he has that tattooed somewhere. Doubt even this.
Don't say somewhere and tattoo in the same.
I don't know where. I just remember him mentioning it somewhere. Yes.
We have dead air there. Isn't that like
Oh,
some
I
faux
thought
pas? Isn't
Mike
that a faux pas or something?
Mike was
We're not editing that out, so deal with it. I was thinking, in terms of skeptic podcasts, I'm actually fairly new to listening to Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, although I tend to enjoy it. Let's see, I listened to Cognitive Dissonance, listened to that for a while. I had to catch up on a lot of those episodes. I found it, I was just searching for new podcasts to listen to some time ago, and that was on a list. I was like, oh, I'll check this out. I guess that was back in March of this year, I think it was, that I found that, so I tried to catch up with all the episodes. Scathing Atheist, Skepticism, Atheism. Oh, what else? Just this huge list of ones I listened to. I've just recently started listening to Skeptoid. That's really great because there's a lot of topics that I'm like, why doesn't anyone talk about these things more often?
Mm-hmm.
Although they're very short episodes, he covers a lot of things I want to hear about.
Yes.
Conspiracy podcast, Mike, yours is the only conspiracy podcast I listen to anymore. There was another one I had listened to. That I listened to that before I found yours. I cannot remember the name of it.
But then those guys disappeared. Coincidence? I think not.
Indeed. Mike, are you switching locations regularly enough?
Or he's doing away with the other podcasters. Like,
Conspiracy Skeptic podcast?
he's getting rid of other conspiracy podcasters.
I cannot remember the name of the other one I used to listen to.
No comment.
Maybe it was the Conspiracy Skeptics podcast. I'm not sure.
Carl Maimer?
It could be. And it's been a while since I listened to it. The thing was that the episodes didn't come out very frequently.
Yeah, it was an apology cast, if I remember right.
It might have been. It was just that I would check every now and then. So, there's not a new episode. There's not an episode. So eventually, I just quit checking. Like there are others that come out often enough that I pick up those instead. There are a number of ones like Invisible Friends show. I've listened to some of that. The No Godcast podcast. I've listened to some of that. There's a number of them that are people in our community that have podcasts. I listen to some episodes as I can. They don't tend to make the constant rotation podcasts I listen to. Science-wise, I think my favorite science podcast is definitely Radio Lab, which I've listened to for years. Listened to that for years. I've listened to every episode of it, and then I found somewhere online I found a collection of all the radio shows they did before they were officially a podcast, and I guess a monthly radio show. Either way, I've listened to all those. I've caught up on all of their backlog. This American Life is one that I've listened to. Somehow I managed to listen to every single episode, 500-something episodes of that show, I think it is now, or damn near. More recently, Caustic Soda I picked up at the same time I picked up Cognitive Dissonance and have gone through their entire back catalog. That is one of the best produced, like production quality-wise, podcasts I listen to. Freakonomics, I listen to that sometimes.
Good stuff.
What is it? The financial podcast that NPR does. Planet Money, yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's another one I listen to. That's a good one. They do fairly short episodes, 20, 30 minutes or so. They're always really good. They're very informative.
Especially during the financial crisis, they explained the TED spread. They explained all kinds of things that I'd never even heard of.
Right.
They don't take a neutral stance either. They'll go ahead and be just about in tears. I mean, when the TED spread was down to 0, they were openly distraught. I thought was kind of refreshing, because NPR can be a little bit sort of like they don't have blood in their veins.
Are you saying they can be stuffy at times?
A bit, a tad, a little removed. You know.
An Oklahoma podcast I do listen to is the Oklahoma Atheist podcast. I'm a member of that meetup, although I do not attend frequently enough, and I do listen to that podcast on occasion. That's another one that doesn't make the weekly rotation. I just catch it as I can. And now I look at my phone for my list of. Incredulous is one I listen to occasionally.
What about Skeptics with a K? You still listen to that? I love that.
I was just about to. That was the next one I was going to mention. Skeptics with a K. Yeah.
I think
99% Invisible is an interesting podcast, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything I do. It's more design based, but it's very interesting. There's a number of programming podcasts that I won't go into because most people that are watching this probably don't care about that anyway. Even if you care about it, you probably don't want to hear about programming it right now. So, and You Are Not So Smart, David McRaney, who's a member of our community, author of You're Not So Smart and You Are Now Less Dumb. His podcast is excellent. He doesn't have very many episodes. I think 10, 12 episodes, something like that. And every one of them is really good. It's totally worth listening to.
And cookies. If you don't like what he has to say, there are cookies.
There are cookies. A couple more I listen to are Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. That's really interesting. He does audiobooks. So he'll do 4 or 5 part series on something, and it ends up being a full audiobook on whatever topic. And then Stuff You Should Know is. I think that's a pretty decent science, or usually science-based podcast. And Stuff You Missed in History Class is another one of my favorites. And recently, I've been turned on to a few philosophy podcasts. I don't really have any that are my favorite yet, so I haven't put a whole lot of time into listening to those. But there are a number of those I started listening to, and I'll put links to some of those after the show. Now I'll shut up because I've just gone on for like 10 minutes or so.
And I thought I consume a lot of podcasts, but I suppose.
Don't get him started on that.
It's your turn, tag. Go for it.
My Stitcher says that I've listened to something like, I forgot now. Now that I go to mention it, forgot. But it was a ridiculous number of hours since.
It's over 4,000, isn't it?
Yeah, over 4,000 since 2011, and that's not the only thing I listen to. That doesn't even include Audible or any of those other things. So, yeah, that's what happens when you do something menial for a living.
I would probably listen to more podcasts during the day, except that I just can't concentrate on programming and listening to someone else talk about a topic that you're actually interested in. You cannot concentrate. I cannot concentrate on those two things at the same time.
Right. That's why doing something menial helps out with that, because what I do is mindless.
Well, you really should consider something like Rush Limbaugh or something that's completely uninteresting.
Oh, wow.
My blood pressure couldn't handle it. Mysterious Universe, same problem.
I feel ill now suddenly. Thank you for that.
Alex Jones, same problem.
Alex Jones, yeah.
You couldn't break you into puppet bombs.
Yeah, you couldn't concentrate. You'd be talking from him and then start screaming like, "Wake up!"
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love how he he yells at everybody, and oh god, you try to listen to it, and you kind of like go into this weird it's like one of these what the hell, I better shut this shit off.
Yeah. It gets uncomfortable to listen to sometimes.
I mean, I've gone through. Listen, I mean, he usually he used to go like 4 hours. Now he's down to like 3.5 hours. And I'm sitting there, I'm wanting to take notes, and it's like, well, come on, get to your point. He'll spend, over a half hour, 20 of it, spewing out the his standard rap. It's all the government is doing whatever, blah blah blah, all that kind of fun crap, and then he kind of gets to his point, and then he goes right into a commercial, and it's like, okay, I just wait. There's 20 minutes or 25 minutes I lost.
You'll never get back.
He goes right into commercial with some bullshit he's selling, like be prepared for the apocalypse with gold.
Gold. There's the colloidal silver generators.
Isn't that the thing that turns you blue?
Yeah, if you overdose.
That is the only cool thing about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I know what I'm doing for Halloween.
Done and done. Well, if my culture has taught me anything, I know what I'll be doing for Halloween. The official dress like a tart holiday.
Funny, that's what I was going to do before
Indeed.
the whole blue idea.
Different kinds of tart. It's all right.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
I've never listened to a whole episode of anything Rush Limbaugh or Alex Jones. Never. I've only seen clips.
The longest I've ever listened to Rush Limbaugh was with a coworker at my last job. We were driving to some location, and that's what he had on the radio. And
Oh, no.
it's like he just had it like quietly, kind of like ambiance, if you could call it that. And at some point, finally, I was like, "Do you actually listen to this shit?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, kinda." I was like, "Do you believe this shit?" Not all of it, but I think he makes good points. And I was like, "Wow, I've just lost respect for this guy." Here, I thought you were cool.
And scene.
Yeah. I didn't say anything rude after that. It was just,
Yeah.
all right, just okay.
I didn't know anyone listened to those guys, but I suppose they have an audience of some sort.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
of course they do.
That audience is probably pretty big in this state, unfortunately.
Fox News.
But what's really weird is like the really crazy, like inflammatory shit he says. I almost would never hear anyone here say that. Apparently, though, people here will listen to those kinds of things. Like people vote Tom Coburn in and listen to that crazy bullshit he said. Yeah.
Nod
I don't
smugly
know.
in their car. Kind of like I do. No Illusions is going crazy and saying all kinds of things I would never say out loud, and I'm nodding smugly in traffic. Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't think we have any such high-profile people in Finland who would do something like that in Finnish. Like, they're really niche. If you have a conspiracy guy, they are not in any way in that mainstream, so to speak. Well, if you consider Rush Limbaugh mainstream.
Yeah, that's how it should be. People should be marginalized when their ideas are so ridiculous and inflammatory and baseless. Yeah, it's how it should be. Marginalized socially. Like, yeah, you have free speech technically, but yeah, we're all going to ignore you.
Yeah. Though we found a Finnish UFO psychic person.
What?
I don't think she has an audience, but we found one.
We should all listen to her show just to give her an audience and maybe some good fodder for the next topic that we attack. Did I say attack? Tackle.
I think she mostly does like books and lecture tours or something. I had never heard of her, but my friend over there, yonder, had heard of her before. She had visited a Finnish radio station, Radio Rock.
So what kind of woo is popular there, if anything? What is the big thing? Like, you know what ours is.
Mostly alternative medicine, I suppose. Like,
herbs and whatnot.
Yeah, homeopathy, acupuncture, chiropractic.
Does the government pay for that? If you want to get like a fake treatment, will the government pay? Because our government has started paying for a lot of that fake treatment.
I don't think so. I think you have to pay for yourself if you choose.
See, that's much better. Much better. Here you can get them to pay for the bullshit.
I just had a thought for do-it-yourself homeopathy. If you could get whatever the homeopathic ingredient is you need, throw it in the ocean and just start drinking ocean water, you will cure yourself of something.
Yeah, I've never even seen homeopathy in Finnish pharmacies or anything.
Oh,
so.
Here it's sold right next to the legitimate stuff. You have booze, cigarettes, homeopathy, all kinds of nonsense, herbal, this and that, aromatherapy, next to the legitimate thing.
But pharmacies in Finland are actual pharmacies and not like in the US where they're like convenience stores.
Yeah, it's a 7-Eleven, but you can get your drugs there. You can get your heart medication, a big gallon of booze, a pack of cigarettes, some porn, whatever you want. It's a 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
it's your one-stop shop.
Yeah, in Michigan, where I'm from, you could even drive through. There's a drive-through, so you don't have to get out of the vehicle. You can booze that way and your meds and
I'd like 3 packs of Viagra and heart medicine to go.
You'd be like, I need some booze, some porn, some cancer-causing agents, and some homeopathic cancer remedy.
Yes.
To go, please.
Yep. Absolutely, and the pharmacist will ring you up and say nothing about it. That's right.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'm in the
wrong business, apparently.
That's convenience to the third power. I wish I could get my porn and booze from the same store.
Porn, booze, and asthma medication, whatever.
Well, you can order booze on the internet, so I guess technically you could get both at the same store. You just have to wait. Didn't you just have to wait for shipping for one of the two? Maybe both, depending on exactly what it is you're looking for, I suppose.
You have compounding pharmacies where they mix it up literally in the store. The drugs, the pharmacy drugs, yeah, we have that too to add to the mix. Compounding pharmacies where you get your actual drugs mixed there. Yeah.
So you can get like drug cocktails.
Yeah, I mean you have to have a script, but yeah, they mix them right there for like women in menopause, things that are hormonal. They mix them right there at the compounding pharmacy.
Jesus fucking Christ! Fuck my nipples. How that should
Google it. It's called compounding pharmacy.
Can we trademark that saying?
Go ahead.
That could be our glory hole.
Jesus fucking Christ, fuck my nipples. Oh, I had a hard enough time getting the intro down with the name of the community.
A to go to bed.
Yeah, A to go to bed. Oh, God, we're late. I am late saying that.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to signal.
To Ada's parents, I apologize for everything she's heard so far.
So sorry, so sorry. I keep trying to discourage her, but you know, tenacious.
What can you do?
Not much, apparently. She's smart, that one.
All right, so Erno, any other podcasts that you listen to on a regular basis?
Fuck, do I have to pronounce irreligiosophy?
Oh, that's a great
Irreligiosity, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, what about
because like Mormons are pretty rare in Finland, because of course they're only big in America. So.
Because Jeebus used to live here, yo. Come on. Very bad wizards. That's a good one.
So getting to know some Mormon stuff, that's pretty interesting. But when they have like someone to interview, those episodes are not that great. Depending, though, because Jehovah's Witnesses was a good episode, but well, Skeptoid used to be one of my favorites, though. I think the episodes have, because he has to find out new topics pretty much every week. Yeah. So it tends to have like not so good episodes and then great episode, interesting episodes, like the Black Knight episode was interesting, the Black Knight satellite.
Yeah, the anniversary, whatever, Skeptoid.
And
7 years.
7 years.
Something like that.
So I pulled up our list of suggested listening / viewing from the Zone community, so I'll run through these quickly. Some of these are ones, a number of these are ones we've already talked about, but I won't try and filter. So we've got Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, Skeptic, Big Picture Science, The Ardent Atheist, Skeptically Yours, Reasonable Doubts, Caustic Soda, Radio Lab, Rationally Speaking, Monster Talk. I don't think I've ever listened to that. I should check that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Talk is actually really, really interesting, and their opening theme is funky.
Yeah.
I will put that on my to-do list. Exposing Pseudo-Astronomy Podcast, Oh No, Ross and Carrie, This Week in Science, Skeptically Speaking, Church of Awesome, Skeptic's Guide to Conspiracy, Cognitive Dissonance, Caramon Cast, You Are Not So Smart, Paranormal Skeptic Academy. That's one I listened to before. I think that's one that also the episodes are few and far between. I don't think I've followed that for a while now. Star Talk Radio, excellent show. C-Web Sunday School, another very excellent.
Very good. Well done. He's an MSW, actually.
And he was also, he did a rap on the most recent Skating Atheist. So there's that. Yeah, so I was listening to that when I rear-ended somebody this week in my car. So.
Oh.
Ouch.
Where you laughing that hard?
Yeah,
Chris
I'm in
did that.
Oklahoma. I rear-ended somebody while listening to an atheist-centric rap song. So there you go. I probably had it coming.
Yeah.
Be reasonable, skepticality, skeptoid, dumbasses, conspiracy skeptic, which I think that's what I was talking about earlier. Slutty lemon, irreligiosity, skeptics with a K, incredulous, the thinking atheist, just skeptics, science talk, quackcast, which is another one I have not listened to. Astronomy cast, the reality check, NPR on science, TED Talks, Point of Inquiry, Righteous Indignation, Science Magazine podcast, which is really good. Ask a Canadian, which I have not listened to. Full Frontal Zealotry, that's a really good one. The guy who does that is a member of our community as well. The name escapes me suddenly.
Did you
Shane
mention
Kroll.
Reason podcast?
Thank you.
Reason?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Token
I love
skeptic.
Full Frontal Zealotry. The musical breakdown actually makes it more listenable because there's like an actual breakdown during there's like an intermission, and you don't face out from listening to someone just speak and speak and speak.
The last three on this list are the Token Skeptic, Infinite Monkey Cage, which I have no idea about that. I'll have to check it out, and Weird Things, which I also have no idea about.
Did you say Imaginary Friends podcast or Reason? Either one of those?
I don't think that's in this list. I should add those to the list.
Very Bad Wizards. I love that one.
Yes, Very Bad Wizards is good. Need that.
Was Thinking Atheist mentioned?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oklahoma. Keeping it real. That. He interviews Richard Dawkins coming up the next episode, I think. It'll be the Richard Dawkins interview.
Yeah. I heard.
Oh, what's that other one he just did? What is it? Dogma Debate? He interviewed the guy from that, too, the Thinking Atheist. Dogma Debate. Something...
Dogma Debate is an actual radio show,
Yeah.
I suppose.
He interviewed that guy, and I started listening to that recently. It's pretty long. Smalley. Something Smalley. The host of that show.
I can pretty much only get like podcast form things because I can't listen to American radio.
No,
But
it's on Stitcher, though. That one, Dogma Debate's on Stitcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's one that is purely entertainment and nothing to do with skepticism or atheism or anything necessarily intellectual. It's a podcast called We Are Alive, which is it's a zombie story. It's done in the style of old radio shows. So they have sound effects, and the way the story's told, like, it draws a picture of the scene. It's really well done. I haven't listened to it for a while. I followed, I don't even know how many episodes, there were like many hours of it I listened to, and I was like, oh, I'll come back and pick it up here again. I haven't yet. I've probably got a week's worth of episodes to go through, week's worth of, like, in terms of hours to go through to catch up to wherever they are now. But that's one I highly recommend. It's very entertaining.
So it's like old school radio theater, like
Yeah.
you can get like from the 60s or something, Sherlock Holmes and
Yeah. Batman and all those. Mhm.
You know, if you're into zombie stories, that's one that's definitely worth checking out. For however long you're going to listen to it, it's very entertaining. It's a really cool story.
who doesn't like a zombie story?
I've grown a little tired of them at this point, but I still like a good zombie story. So I'm not a naysayer, at least not at this point.
Don't grow weary of the topic in general. I'm just now starting to formulate my plan, and I will need help because I'm woefully inadequate, as it turns out, with forming appropriate planning, an appropriate plan.
Well, just put in enough explosions and my friend will be happy. He loves explosions.
I say that I personally think the best part of any zombie plan is to realize you're only buying time, really, because in the end the zombies are going to win.
That's true in life.
Exactly. See, so you're only buying time.
Maximum, at best.
And always save one bullet. I'm just saying. Save one last bullet.
I have insulin. I'm taken care of.
Well, chainsaws buy you a lot of time.
Goodbye, cruel world. Mike and I really aren't worried about buying time. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're
What?
smoking, right?
Smoking, we're not worried about buying time.
Time.
Just worried about enjoying what you have.
Carpe diem, as we say. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the only place left we can smoke, really.
The podcast land, or what is it? Wadcast land?
In your houses.
My house.
Hey, that's one thing we have here in Oklahoma is like you can't smoke in restaurants, but you can go outside and smoke out in public all you want.
Some places that's not even true. Like outside is controlled too.
In Finland, you can't smoke in restaurants, but you can on the streets and.
What about strip clubs? Can you smoke at the strip club? In Canada, you cannot even smoke at the strip club in Windsor. Cannot even smoke at the nudie bar.
I guess that's for the best. Who would want a stripper whose hair smells like smoke?
They all smell like something. Toonies, I guess.
And the joke was just made for me.
Toonies, they smell like toonies. Or does one put a coin on a stripper? I'm just saying.
It's the coin return you have to wonder about.
Yeah.
Can I get change for that?
They're very nice, though, actually.
And the inappropriate humor begins.
Hey, we made it well into
40 minutes. We made it 40 minutes without any.
Not true.
Not
we
exactly.
Had a long shirt like in the
that.
first few minutes.
Okay, so we made it all of like 40 seconds before we had a dick joke. So thank you, Arno. Very well done, sir. You're keeping us on track.
Not to spoil your party, but yeah, we did like 15 minutes, and we had very few curse words and everything.
This is probably the least times I've said. This is the least times I've said fuck on this podcast or videocast or hangout, whatever. I keep calling it a podcast now.
Yeah, I do too.
Me that. People keep telling me that. Oh, I listen to your podcast. I'm like, it's not a fucking podcast. It's on YouTube, damn it.
It's a poopcast.
You can't download it anywhere unless you go to YouTube. I guess you can there. Oh, I don't know.
You can unplug on YouTube.
That's right.
So you could theoretically, if you wanted this on your iPod or cell phone or something, you could download this.
And that would be
really wanted to.
Yeah, I know you can. I've downloaded videos from there before. Some of them just have an option for that. This one may. I don't know. I guess I could look at it and see. If I can tell people like if you want to download it and watch it on your mobile device, don't watch it while you're driving. Just saying.
And it is not work safe. We will say that this is not work safe. Just say it. Like
not family safe either.
No.
There are services online that can turn YouTube videos into MP3 files.
Right.
Yeah. MP3 before it. Yeah.
Just the online conversion.
Yeah.
I've used that numerous times. That's how I make a lot of ringtones, actually, like a notification.
Well, you get the big skeptical money. You know, there's big money in being skeptical. You get that check, and you get the shill for this and that check. Yeah.
I try to get my shill check for what? Big fuck you or something.
I will shill for anything. I don't care who you are. Send me enough money, I will shill for it.
The Oklahoma beef industry, come on.
It will be fun when the
homeopathic beef remedies. Whatever. I don't care.
It will be really funny when the Creation Museum pays you money and you're here on this podcast going, yeah, there are this.
I just want to quote Winston from the Ghostbusters and saying, if there's a steady enough paycheck involved, I'll believe anything you say. Give me a big enough paycheck, yeah, sure, I believe. 6,000 years ago, yeah, riding Tyrannosaurus, sure.
Flintstones was a documentary. You know it.
I will preach about how a banana was made just for our hands.
Oh my God! I can't believe you went there.
Just give me a big enough check. I'm saying that's all.
Crocoduck. That's all I got to say.
Crocoduck.
Crocoduck.
I will go find a live crocoduck.
Probably in Oklahoma. There's everything else. There's tarantulas. There's all kind of scary things.
We don't even have That's one crazy thing for the middle of the Bible Belt. We don't even have a creationist museum here. It's nothing I'm aware of.
No, they're gonna test us for all their craziness.
Do they have like a creationist podcast from the Creation Museum or something?
I bet they have.
Oh, I bet they do. Well, I don't know. That's an awful lot of embracing technology for that group.
Because it would kind of be interesting to see what the other side is speaking to.
They all have stuff on YouTube. Ken Ham and Ken Hovind, all those guys have stuff on YouTube, so they do embrace technology. They have a new documentary out too, I think. One of those.
My problem is trying to sit through all of a documentary or podcast or radio show of something like that. It is a lot of work for me to sit through and pay attention to all of that.
There are a lot on Netflix too. You want to watch the ones about how they're messing with the teaching of evolution in the U.S. There's several on Netflix that are pretty good.
There's one that
camp is terrifying. That is really scary.
Tom and Cecil talked about that one about the Texas Yeah, that's what you're talking about. The steering committee for textbooks in Texas and how, unfortunately, Texas, because there's such a big market for textbooks, tends to decide what states around the country, what textbooks they get.
Pretty much everybody, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yep.
I actually tried to watch Expelled just like a few months ago, and it was so horrible that I got like 20 minutes in or so.
Oh, you made it further than I did. I was like Tourette's 5 minutes in, just cussing and screaming. I had to turn it off. I was like, my head's going to explode. This is not safe. How mad I am.
Yeah.
Not safe.
My friend over there actually found in his workplace, in a nuclear power plant, a guy who's a complete creationist. Like,
what?
Yeah, all 6,000 years stuff.
6,000 years? We have writing older than that. Don't get me started.
Yeah, the oldest language to die just a few years ago was a language called Bo, and it could be traced like, I think it was 15,000 years back. You could trace the language.
Obviously, that's a mistake in calculation, sir.
Oh, yeah, the carbon dating on most languages, you can't trust that. You can't trust that.
I don't know anybody from 200 years back, so I don't believe that Earth can be older than 200 years.
Right, we use air, that.
Take that, evolutionists.
Oh, I love it when they call us Darwinists. I'm like, you know what? If I had to be an ist, that would be fine with me, really. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Evolutionist and Darwinist, all those are just weasel words, basically to make it look like an ism instead of a scientific endeavor.
Set of ideas, yeah.
Yeah. I've been called a Darwinist a few times, so.
I would just think, I guess at first I'd be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
You're insulting me. Oh, well, I'm sorry.
That's someone
I didn't know having a brain was insulting. My bad.
Yeah.
How dare I think for myself?
Sometimes I'm just so surprised on the mental gymnastics they go through, like, just to explain try to explain something so that it doesn't seem plausible or something. Like, I tried to explain dog and wolf evolution to creation, and yeah,
such a simple thing.
Dogs are wolves. Actually, they are the same species.
Yeah,
right. That's why they have so much in common.
I guess I'm kind of out of practice. I just don't ever have conversations like that anymore. It just ends with like, oh, you believe this thing. Yeah. Okay, like that's as far as I go. All right. Well,
for me, it usually ends with.
Yeah, I think my boss at work is the last person I've had any in-depth discussion on any kind of topic like that, and although we have widely varying views, we're both very respectful and no one gets upset. Moreover, though, I won't go into those conversations with most people. Generally no one's looking to exchange ideas. It's one person wants to either bash on the other person's ideas, make the other person believe what they believe, or both. So
I'm out at work, and I don't think that was necessarily wise, but I'm out at work, and I work with nurses, with medical professionals, and many of them believe superstitious things, religious things. So since they espouse these things kind of openly, I felt like, okay, well, you have opened that door then. So I'm out, and they know it.
I have weird whistling noises coming from that direction.
Probably spirits. Have you considered having your house exorcised?
Yeah, this is an old house. This is a shoe factory from the 1800s.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I actually live in a shoe factory.
I have all kinds of strange noises here, but it's just people banging on walls and yelling and whatnot.
Going up the stairs like a rhinoceros.
Yes, I call my next door neighbor the rhinoceros because of the way the whole place pounds and shakes when they go
Water,
up and down the
water
stairs.
noodles, Jurassic Park
Yeah, it's
style.
like the Tyrannosaurus from Jurassic Park. Yeah.
As a single man, I'm pretty bummed that I don't hear the neighbors' sex noises, because this is like thick concrete, the walls here, so you don't really hear anything that's going on.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah. I'd pay for
Wouldn't that just be further disappointing? Because you're like, oh great, they're getting some. Like, fuck you, you're getting some.
That's why you have to have a bucket of cold water and
I guess it's all about perspective and how you're going to approach that situation there. I can be jealous, or I can pretend I'm joining in. Oh God, I just went there.
Yeah.
I think I just made the most
No,
forced
actually,
move
you
without
didn't go there. I took you there.
That's right. That was a ride we went on together, sir. What's great, that was the most inappropriate joke I made in a while without any foul language included.
Well done, well played.
Alright, so I guess we'll start to wrap.
Beautiful topic.
Oh yeah, we are way off topic. So, voyeuristic podcast.
Oh, neighbors' sex noises, a podcast. Though it's
Good,
not. It's an analog podcast. It's not a digital one.
It probably violates some laws of some sort. I don't know.
Decency?
That's a courtesy law. They don't count.
Right, indeed. Yeah, who are you telling, right? Indeed. I live in a country where there's Westboro Baptist Church. You don't have to tell me about there's no such thing as decency.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see there was some punk band that filmed a porno on the lawn of the Westboro Baptist Church?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I posted that on G+. Yeah, so
Well, they didn't have anal penetration, so it doesn't count.
no woo fruit, what?
Well, there's always round two, I guess. You know, there's always a sequel with porn.
Round 2.
Round 2 in the number 2. That's.
Did they make a particular name for it? I did not see.
God hates Jags, something like that.
Huh. I don't even remember the name of the punk band.
I don't either. I'd have to look it up now. But yeah, I saw that just crack up. I was in a meeting at work when I read that and just died laughing. So everyone's like, what? I'm like, I can't share this.
This is not work safe on any level.
My boss is like, are you laughing about anything that has to do with work? I am not. I totally am not.
I was trying to send you stuff so you could, read if you needed something to read.
Yeah.
I thought that was among it.
I'll give out a serious topic for a while. One of our members of parliament actually went into the session with a friend, and
oh God, I don't like where this is going.
The friend in the bleaches just went Sieg Heil in our parliament.
Is it on TV like how it is here?
And the guy
Wow.
and the member of parliament whose friend it was took a picture and put it online to promote his friend's campaign. Yeah.
Is your parliament televised? Is it on TV so everyone can see it?
Yeah. And it was available online, everyone saw it, and the member of parliament thought he could get away with it. He was actually expelled from his party.
Oh, that's good.
They
John McCain doing what, video poker, and he just kind of had a laugh about it. It's like, there's important shit going on. What are you doing? And he was playing video poker and just kind of laughing about it. Like, not cool.
Yeah. It was the stupidest thing that anyone has ever done in the Finnish parliament.
Is that growing in popularity over there? Is there a chance that has any?
Well, pretty much in every European country, like nationalist, right-wing nationalist parties are gaining ground. It's that way in Finland too, but I mean, it's not that bad in Finland, but I suppose we're going there.
Right.
Yeah.
Craziness.
They've already talked about like censoring art, or actually taking away like money to non-patriotic art, and things like that. So
Oh,
it's not unlike the 1940s in that sense.
You know what? We have at least one state that's banned Sharia law. I think it's a state that did it. Wasn't like Minnesota banned Sharia law?
I think it was North Carolina that
Yeah,
banned
that makes a lot more sense. But the banning Sharia law, I don't even know where to start with that. That is so fractally wrong. Like, just pick apart and it's wrong.
Yeah, it's like North Carolina is full of Muslims.
Endangered. And even if they are, like, there's no danger Sharia law is going to become the law of the land. No matter how
You have the separation of church and state, so
theoretically, yeah, theoretically.
Law shouldn't be possible.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the legislators in that state that banned Sharia law have no idea what Sharia law actually is.
They could not spell it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure, like, who is this Sharia? Why is she messing with our laws? Like, I'm sure.
I'm actually pretty unaware of what Sharia actually is, because I've mostly heard the right-wing propaganda about it, so I have no idea what it actually is.
I'm familiar with some of it. It's disturbing for sure.
That's me. I'm cautious to say I understand it. I hear atheist and skeptic podcasts that will talk about it or hear things in the news. I'm aware though that is not an all-inclusive or comprehensive view. So I only know some about it. I know enough to say that if it's a theocratic law, I don't want any part.
Literally.
There's nothing I want. There's nothing I want to do with it if that's the case. Comprehensively though, I don't truly understand it. It's something I could certainly look into. I could say on its surface though, if it's based on any given religion, I probably want nothing to do with it.
I don't. Secular law always trumps theocratic or a religious law.
I'm guessing if it's based on religion, there's going to be some misogyny, some racism, some kind of genocide's okay in this particular instance kind of law.
If you kill someone, you pay blood money, that kind of thing.
Right.
Like if you're going to prison, you just fork over some cash. Like
you can rape your 8-year-old wife to death and just throw some money down and everything's fine.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
I know. Oh, I'm so sick of it. And it will be a while before I forget about that story.
Yeah, pretty much. I was laughing all the way through when cognitive dissonance was speaking about it, but I mean,
because it's so horrifying.
That was something
you can't really manage it any other way than.
I had read about that before I heard it on a podcast. So by the time they've been joking about it, I wasn't of the mind of that's not funny to joke about. No, I'm okay with gallows humor. Just I wasn't amused because I was still so infuriated by the whole thing.
I suppose someone pasted it on the forum.
Yeah. The most coherent pronunciation of that yet.
Also, women's testimony counts as half as men. Also, inheritance rights. The boys inherit more because they have to support a family. Sharia law is all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun.
Oh, and this story that Scathing Atheist was going on about the 19-year-old convicted rape victim who got lashes for being a victim of gang rape.
7 guys.
My mind is full of fuck after having heard that. What?
Yeah.
Total what?
Yeah.
Well, they don't. I think they don't have actual codes of law in Saudi Arabia, or at least very comprehensive ones. I think it's pretty much. I feel like punishing you, so you'll get the punishment that I just now came up with.
Yeah, it's up to the religious police, I suppose.
Yeah, they have the religious police that can do pretty much anything they want.
Yeah. If I want to visit my friend in Saudi Arabia, I have to turn over my passport. He told me I have to give him my passport when I arrive. Yeah, the government will make sure I hand over my passport so he can control when I leave. So thus I've never been to the fine kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I don't really like going there, though I would enjoy the desert climate, but...
No, not for me. Handing over my passport, not going to happen.
Yeah.
So we've got a number of questions in the Q&A section, so we'll get to that before we wrap it up.
Sure, let's hit it.
So Hector Ivan Bedoya Rojas says, "I love podcasts." We love you. Marcos Juarez says hi.
Hello.
Here's a name in what looks like Cyrillic letters I cannot pronounce. They said hello as well, so hello.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Marcos Juarez actually asked, "You speak Spanish?" Not well enough that you'd want me to try.
Keto. That's about it right there.
Probably just enough to offend you.
Just enough to sound ignorant. That's right.
Muy puta.
Grandpa Singe says how to get hold of the Yogcast, which I imagine is Yoga Cast. I don't know.
Search yoga. I don't know.
What is a yoga cat?
http://google.com YogaCast. So,
No.
Timothy Childry says, when did you first begin podcasting? I guess 3 months ago. Well, I think we started in the Hangout 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. So not very long ago, and we're as good at it as you would expect. So, let's see. Marco Antonio Bravo Lopez says, "Hola de donde eres?" See?
What?
And then Tavia Morgan says, "Really? You know what I think? This is boring as hell." You know what? I agree. And fuck
Yeah.
So.
But if you want, we can make this interesting, and I can show you my nipples. Yeah. If you come back and see this, my nipples.
If you watch next week's show.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned, kids.
My nipples, your nipples, everybody's nipples. And that will be the next week's topic.
So with having answered our completely off-topic questions, we'll wrap it up. So any final thoughts? So Brandy, you're first on my list here. So Brandy, final thoughts.
Check out Very Bad Wizards. Everybody should check out Very Bad Wizards. It is funny, it's thoughtful, so well done, and these two guys that are your friends get into it, and that's pretty fun. So even if you like a little bit of conflict, they really get into it. They're both philosophy nerds, psychology nerds, so it's a good time anyway.
If you want to see something real awesome, you should see this podcast and see me talk about things like nipples.
Yeah, that I should have let you go last, because that is the best final thought.
It is.
Mike, any final thoughts?
Zen?
Actually, maybe a quick announcement.
Yes, do it.
I was hoping Dumbass would be on. He was supposed to, but he's been busy. He's actually getting ready to start putting some episodes out, so you should be seeing them within the month.
Please tell me what's a dumbass.
The Dumbass Guide to Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, supposedly he's been working on a few stuff. He's got some shows in the can he's putting together, so should be seeing some stuff.
Yeah. Also, Dumbass, make note that Mike didn't bring that podcast up earlier when talking about his favorite podcast. Just saying.
Well, I didn't get a chance to say that. That's one of my favorites. You know, the Dumbass. You know, go to the Dumbass Media Net. Well, we're part of the media empire.
Yeah, part of the empire.
C-Web, all those guys.
Did we give you a chance to say your favorite podcast, or we just glossed
Not
right
really.
over?
I just kind of
bullshit. Like,
you just went into bullshit. So
oh God, I'm so sorry. Jesus.
That's okay.
A superstar podcaster, we just snubbed him. We snubbed the shit out of you at the beginning of the cast.
There's reason for living.
But you pretty much mentioned everything.
Well, in that case, now is your turn, sir. Tell us about your favorite podcast.
Well, you've already mentioned all of them, so.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, if Dumbass is able to join us for one,
please do.
Let me know. Yeah, just send me a message. Let me know who to invite. So we'll get him on here.
It's so hard to find online, though. If you type in your name on Google, oh my God, nothing comes up. Crickets.
I know. Terrible.
He's kind of a private. He doesn't. Well, he's. What he mentioned, he wants to keep a low profile on Google and all that kind of stuff. So
tell him to make up a phony name and then do it in a dark room. Like, that's fine. Tell him to wear a balaclava. You can get one at the sporting goods store for like $10.
Come on, in a burqa.
I mean, like the black block. The black block is here in the form of Dumbass.
That could work.
Make it like a drug. You're like, psst, psst, hey, you want to hang out, kid? Psst.
You get a voice modulator. You know, like change his voice.
Yeah.
I was a secret informant. Like, and it sounds like a woman's voice instead of the man talking, or something crazy like that. I don't really have any final thoughts. I think I've said everything I've been wanting to say. So with that, I guess, Erno, give us your final thoughts again, because that was awesome.
Tell us more about you.
Heavy miehet vilkuttaa, moi moi.
There you go.